Hello viewers, welcome to Scholar Hub, and here is another session of our channel. So today we are going to deal with one of the chapters. So let's get started. But before starting our session, let me remind you, if you have not subscribed my channel yet, then please go and subscribe it now, and don't forget to hit the like button and even press the bell icon to get the regular updates of my videos. Now moving on to the next part. So, by just looking at this image, you must have got an idea that today I am going to deal with chemistry. Yeah, it's true. Today I am going to deal with chemistry. And the book which I am going to follow is Concise Chemistry by Selena Publication. It's the most important book and it has its own value. Every ICSE students should follow it because it provides a detailed analysis of each and every chapter. So why not begin our chapter with a interesting quote stating that nothing is impossible. The word itself says I'm possible. Students, never neglect your work stating that it's impossible for me to do. Just have faith in yourself and do it. I'm surely saying you will be able to do that. You will achieve success in that. So this is the name of our first chapter, the periodic table. The periodic table. We are going to deal with every topic covered in this chapter in much detail. We will discuss the questions coming from this chapter and even the short question that you may get from this chapter. So this is your visual representation of a periodic table, also known as modern periodic table. Okay, just have a glance of it. So let's move to the next part. The name of our chapter is periodic table, periodic properties and the variation of properties. Let's start with it. But before starting, let me again tell you that please go through the syllabus, because unless and until you don't go through the syllabus, you will not know which are the important parts and what all I have to learn in this chapter, because ICSE will ask only within the syllabus. And in this video, I'm just going to cover the introduction and some summary of the modern periodic table. We will discuss the later part of this chapter in the upcoming videos. So I have divided this chapter into small chunks or small parts so that it would be easier for you to understand the chapter in brief. So let's start with elements. What is an element? The simplest definition that I can put for you is your element is a pure substance that cannot be divided into two or more simpler substances. Elements are made up of only one kind of atom, and even your elements are classified with the help of their atomic number. So in schools, students are provided with their identity card so as to identify them. The same way, the atomic number acts for an element. Atomic number is the characteristic property of an element. So let's start with it. So classification. Why do we need classification? A question arises in our mind. So there are mainly three reasons why do we classify. The first reason is that to understand the concept in a better way, to make our study easier. Second, to relate the properties of an element and the fundamental property of a matter. Third reason would be to show the relationship between one element and the other element. And moving on to the last point, which was very necessary, that led to classification, was that by the end of your 18th century and the beginning of 19th century, huge amount of elements were discovered, and it was hardly possible for any chemist to remember the properties and characteristics of each and every element. So a need arose for the classification of those elements. I am quite sure that you must have learned the chapter, the periodic table, in your class 9th. You must have an idea about Dobrynner triad, Newland octave, and modern periodic law, Henry Moseley, everything. So just we are going to revise it, and we are going to put up in short so that it would be easier for you to recall what you have learned. Let's start with it. So first, coming up with the early chemist. Early chemists classified the element on the basis of the density, malleability, ductility, and even on the metallic and the non-metallic character, and classified it on the basis of this properties into two categories. They were mainly metals and non-metals. So metals and non-metals. This main classification served as an environment of confusion. What happened? See, the elements were classified in just two groups, so the list of elements falling under each group were so large that it hardly served for any purpose of classification. First, the motto of the classification was that to understand the elements in an easier way, to study them in an organized way. But when they were classified into just two categories, it not served as a purpose of organized study but as a purpose of confusion. Okay, so this was the first reason, was that the list of elements falling under each group was so large that it hardly served for any purpose of classification. Second was that some elements shows the metallic as well as non-metallic characteristic. So you have learned this term now. The element which shows metallic as well as non-metallic characteristic are your metalloids. Remember it, metalloids. So what are metalloids? Silicon, boron, germanium, arsenic, tellurium, these are all your metalloids. So moving on to the next part, that is your Dobereiner. The Dobereiner was a German scientist. He came up with the law of triad. Here the word triad mainly means a group of three. He arranged the element in the group of three in the increasing order of the atomic weight such that the atomic weight of the middle element is equal to the arithmetic mean of the other two elements. This was the triad. And about 4 triads were formed. Okay. There were about 28 elements known at the time, but only 4 triads were possible. And what were the 4 triads? First of all, it was calcium, strontium and barium. Second was chlorine, bromine and iodine. Third one was sulfur, selenium and tellurium. And fourth one was your lithium, sodium and potassium. So moving on with the next topic, that is, why was it not accepted? It was not accepted because certain wrong triads had formed. Elements sharing dissimilar properties formed the triad, and second reason was that your all the known element at that time could not be formed in the arranged in the form of triad. Moving on to the Newland, that is John Newland. John Newland came up with the law of octave. Octave means group of 8 elements. So he arranged the element in the increasing order of the atomic weight in the group of 8 such that every 8 element beginning from any element will show the resemblance and properties with the first element. Okay, so this was the octave law. He even did not leave the spaces for the undiscovered element, and he stated that now no more element would be discovered. At the time only 56 elements were known, and he stated no more elements would be discovered, and at the time hydrogen and noble gases were not discovered. So first of all, what was the reason behind not accepting his periodic table? First reason was that his periodic table was only applicable till calcium. It was not applicable for a heavier element. And second reason was that he failed to prove the validity of his octave law. Third reason was that elements sharing dissimilar property were placed in the same group. For example, your fluorine and chlorine have the properties entirely different from a iron and a cobalt and nickel, but they were placed in the same group. While the iron, which is having the properties similar to your cobalt and nickel, was placed in the another group. So this was the main drawback. Moving on to the Mendeleev. Mendeleev, the father of the periodic table. This is how Mendeleev looked like. He is the father of the periodic table. So Mendeleev. Okay, so Mendeleev was the first person who classified his periodic table based on his own law, stating that the physical and the chemical property of an element are the periodic function of their atomic masses. Remember that. His periodic law was known as Mendeleev periodic law. He even left spaces for the undiscovered element, which accelerated the rate of discovery of that undiscovered element. At that time, only 63 elements were known. Okay, and Mendeleev periodic table was mainly disregarded for main 3 reasons. First of all, was that he did not give a fixed position to hydrogen. Hydrogen was also placed in group 1 as well as in group 17, which was the main defect of the Mendeleev periodic table. And third reason was that anomalous pair were formed. Element having higher atomic number with higher atomic weight was placed before the element having lower atomic weight. And the third reason for his defect was for his disregarded was that the elements, okay, so the elements lanthanides and actinides were not given a fixed position. They were placed at any position. Okay, so now this portion which I am putting inside the box is the most important part of this page. This will contain about 3 questions. Okay, 3 questions, mainly 3 questions that comes in board exams. So just go through it. So defects of the Mendel's periodic table were removed by the Henry Moseley, and he modified it and presented it in the form of modern periodic table. So your modern periodic table, 3 things to be remembered here. Modern periodic table was discovered by Henry Moseley. Second, modern periodic table was based on modern periodic law. Thirdly, your modern periodic table was arranged in the increasing order of the atomic number. Remember, atomic number. So what is an atomic number? It is nothing but the number of proton present inside the nucleus of an atom, or it is the number of electron present in the energy cell of an atom. So your atomic number is also the fundamental property of an element. So now moving on to the next part, that is what state the modern periodic law. So what is the modern periodic law? Modern periodic law states that the physical and the chemical property of an element are the periodic function of their atomic number. So this was the modern periodic law. This is a very important part of this chapter. Just go through it. This and this. Okay. So after the modern periodic law, Niels Bohr extended the modern periodic table, and which later came to be known as long form of modern periodic table. So now we are discussing periodic table. So we must know what is a periodic table. The periodic table is nothing but a tabular arrangement of element in the horizontal rows known as periods and the vertical columns known as group, highlighting the regular trend in properties of an element. That's it. So this is how Henry Moseley, the one who gave the modern periodic table, looks like. So this is your salient features of the modern periodic table. So have you ever seen a modern periodic table? I'm quite sure that you must have seen. So the vertical column present in a modern periodic table are known as group, and the horizontal rows present in the modern periodic table has been given a specific term known as your periods. Okay, so there are about 18 groups and 7 periods. Go through it. 18 groups and 7 periods. These are your important points to be remembered. So each group contains the element having the same number of electron in their outermost cell, and since your physical and the chemical property of an element depends upon the number of electron present in the outermost cell, thus the element present in a particular group have the similar properties. Okay. How were the groups arranged? Groups were arranged from the left to the right in the increasing order of the atomic number. So now we will learn about the naming of the group. So let's move to the periodic table. So this is a periodic table. So naming of the group. This is your group 1. This is 2. This is your group 3 to 12. This is group 13. This is 14. This is 15. Wait. This is 13. This is 14. This is 15. This is 16. This is 17. And this is 18. Okay. So these are all the groups number. So first of all, let us go through the group 1. What is the name of group 1? It is alkali metal. Okay. So these are alkali metal, and they form the strong alkalis with water. Thus they are known as alkali metal. Now moving on to the next group, that is a group 2. They are known as alkaline earth metal because they form weaker alkali as compared to your group 1. And group 3 to 12, this group has been given specific name, that is a transition element. What is transition element? Transition element. Okay, sorry, it's okay. So it's a transition element. Why it is known as transition element? Because these elements have their two of their outermost cell incomplete. Okay, so now moving on to the group 13. What was group 13 known as? Group 13 was known as boron family, since boron is the first member of this group. Group 14 is known as carbon family, since carbon is the first member of this group. Group 15 is known as nitrogen family or pnictogen family. Why it's pnictogen family? Pnictogen family because their compounds are suffocating. Oxygen family, group 16, or chalcogen family because their compounds are ore forming. And the group 17. Group 17 is also known as halogens. Halogens because halogen is derived from a term where halo means salt and gen means producer. So halogens combinedly known as salt producers. So their compound always forms the salt. So they are known as salt producers. So group 18 has been given a specific name, that is a zero group, rare gases group, noble gas group, etc. So this is how we completed the naming of a group. And group 18 has certain characteristic, three important characteristics that to be remembered. First of all, it is that group 18 have their outermost cell completely filled. Secondly is that they have a stable electronic configuration. And thirdly is that they do not react with any other element to form their compound. Noble, they are thus known as noble gases. So main group element. So main group element, from this term it must be clear to you that they are represented mostly in the periodic table. We consider them a lot. Okay, so first of all, the main group element are the elements of the group 1, 2, 13, 14, 15, 16 and 17. These elements have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 electrons in their outermost cell, and thus they are known as main group element. The main group element have their outermost cell incomplete. So now moving on to the periods part. What is a period? This horizontal rows in the modern periodic table is known as a period. There are about 7 periods in the modern periodic table, and there is an interesting fact about period is that the completion of every period is very logical, because every period begins with an element having 1 electron in their outermost cell and ends with an element having their outermost cell completely filled. That means they ends with a zero group. So isn't it interesting that how this happened? So we will learn in much detail about it. So first, just there must be a question in your mind that how to find the group number or the period number. The simplest answer to is that first you need to find out the electronic configuration. After you find out the electronic configuration, then for group number, I can say that the group number is equal to the number of electron. If in case your number of electron is equal to 1 or 2, and if your number of electron is greater than 2, then you have to add 10 to the number of electron to get the group number. That's it. With this, I would like to again repeat that please like and subscribe my channel and press the bell icon to get the regular update of my video. So I conclude my video with a thank you.